Go live.
They know that I got the power and they looking at me like the source. Take my throne, boy, stop that. I'm on my hill, can't top that. You take this L, yeah, rock that. You know, I never needed
What it do, Knicks Universe? What it do, Knicks Universe? KOD Nation, stand up. And all you DJs, wake up and get your coffee. Welcome to this special Friday episode of the Knicks Morning Brew. It's your guy Hector, chilling with my bro Phil and my guy Jiggaman Porto. Fellas, what it do, baby?
What up, man? Ready, man. After a good win or a weird win, I know we'll get into that.
Very weird win.
Then we got the Hornets tonight, which I'm going to. How you doing, Knicks basketball? How you doing? Going to the game. Yeah. But man, it's Friday. It feels like it went fast, but it was like super long. You know, it was like one of those. Like while you were in it, it was like, oh my gosh. And then today I was like, oh, this week went by so fast.
Oh yeah. It's a special Friday, right? Besides the Knicks Morning Brew, besides your little interview you got later around 12:30 and stuff like that, it's the debut episode of Get Yanked on NYY News TV. So make sure you guys tune in, right, to NYY News TV around 4 p.m. this afternoon or early afternoon, and you will be seeing me and my guy Jiggaman with Get Yanked.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
Yes, sir.
I'm pumped for that.
What's up, Phil? How you feeling, baby?
My Yankee, good man. I'm wearing my Judge jersey, still celebrating that, re-signing.
Right.
I read something the other day that was like, have the Yankees made a mistake? Being that they signed him for like 9 years and whatnot. They're like, he'll be well into his 40s, and I'm just like, yo, stop. Like that dude, well into his 40s, is still going to be a better player than most people in that time. Like, I'm not even worried about that, and so. Yeah, I'm pumped on that. Props to Jigga going to that game today. I got to give my mom a shout out. She tried to get me out there to Charlotte to be able to go to the game and hang out with my brother. But unfortunately, that was not a possibility. So I'm not going to be there tonight. But shout out to my boy, Jon Infanti. Yo, like this hat right here, straight up. Like,
yeah, that's fire.
What I love. Yeah, Jon Infanti, he's like this really cool dude. Like, what I love fitted hats, but sometimes your head gets sweaty. Sometimes it's just a little too tight. So these like 5 panels, yeah, they're a little more like college prep dude, but they're a lot more comfortable too. So rocking that 5 panel hat today. So props to him. Link in the description. He's a good guy. So I just wanted to shout him out because he's just good people. So I want to see good people succeed.
Yes. And shout out to our other sponsors of the show. Homage, this dope sweater that I'm wearing, the same one as my guy Jiggaman is wearing. And of course, the guys that help us out with the coffee cups, the whole different plays, the putbacks, the 4-point play and stuff like that. But no, definitely shout out to all the sponsors as well. The link to all the Etsy stores is down in the description. Make sure you use the code Morning Brew on your purchase as well. But fellas, we are here this Friday. We're supposed to be having Uncle Freezie join us momentarily. I'm messaging him right now. So hopefully,
I'll be honest. We might not see Freezie, bro. And I'll be honest, because Freezie went live last night. He had like 15 people jump on that panel. That thing went for several hours. I left, and they were still going. That was like 1 a.m. So you know what? Freezie might either still be talking or he's sleeping, but we'll see, man. But let's talk about it, because I know it's been a couple days since that last game. But man, did y'all see? I know it's been talked about everywhere, but I'm gonna go buy me a new pair of sneakers that say King of Broadway on them. and then I'm gonna go to Madison Square Garden, and I'm gonna take shots, and I'm gonna miss all of them, and I'm gonna walk around and be the king of Broadway.
Well, who's the king of Broadway then? Who's the king of Broadway?
Whoa. First of all, this would be a conversation that will last hours, okay? Because let's be real. You guys can say whatever you want, but there's only one king of Broadway.
You better not say it. You better not say it.
It's Joe, name it, baby. That's
I knew you was gonna say it.
What are you talking about? Don't try to mess with Broadway Joe. The man is called Broadway Joe. Get out of here.
Bro, they were playing in Jersey, bro. How is he called Broadway Joe?
That's hurtful.
But shout out to both NFL teams from New York, the Jets and Giants. They're both having a solid season. The Jets are going through two different type of quarterbacks, but they found that guy in Mike White. Hopefully in White we trust. But yeah, going back to these Knicks, and I'll throw it over to Phil right afterwards. We got the win, right? But at the same time, it's been an awkward feeling since we got that win, right? Because the rumors have come out when it comes to Cameron Reddish, right? When it comes to Emmanuel Quickly, Derrick Rose, Obi Toppin got injured. He's going to be reevaluated in 2 to 3 weeks, but Obi Toppin may be out for the next 2 months. So, Phil, give us your thoughts from the win that we just had and all the news that came afterwards.
Yeah, with everything, I don't want to look at the good or the bad. I want to look at the good, bad, the ugly, the pretty. And so there were some great things in that game that I saw. For me, the biggest is going to be the growth of Quentin Grimes. The big thing with Grimes that people were having an issue with was like, yeah, he's a good defender, but his offense has disappeared. He's no longer that guy, and he was talking about in his interviews, I need to get my feet under me. Like they feel different. I need to figure this out. I'm working on it. And last 2 outings has proved that he's been working on it and it's coming back. 72.7% from field goal, 71.4 from 3. Like his shooting percentage, his true shooting percentage is crazy impressive, and his defense has been crazy impressive too. And so some of Trae Young's issues came from Trae just playing bad, but a lot of them came from lockdown defense. So I'm thankful for that. I'm hopeful for the future of Quentin Grimes. Seeing Obi go out, that was disappointing to say the least. I'm a huge Obi fan. I feel like just when we think that, our franchise is making some moves that could free up, time for Obi to play, he's out for 2 months, so that's disheartening. Randall is the most frustrating player for me. He has these games where you're just like, yo, that was great. That was dope. But why is it Randall's only smiling and hugging on people when it's Randall night? When it's Randall shine time, you don't see that mid-court hug around the shoulder, laughing and giggling when he's not the one thriving that night, So when his shot is falling, he is like happy-go-lucky camper, and I love seeing that. But it's so inconsistent that it's just like we can't do this. We can't do the back and forth seesaw anymore. Not seeing Sims, unfortunate. Jalen had a really, really rough game, worst one we've seen from him thus far. RJ Barrett didn't play pretty at all. Quickly, same thing. Hartenstein, decent, not great, so when I start hearing all these trade rumors, I have to believe that some of them are going to be true, like with what we're seeing on the court. Cam not playing kind of disgusts me, because I'm not a Cam hive, I'm not a Grimes hive, I'm a Knicks hive, and I think both of them together on the court and switching on and off at different times during the game would make us a better team. The fact that Obi went out and we still did not see Cam, just to me, verifies all the rumors that we're hearing that they're taking calls to move Cam Reddish by the deadline, which is disappointing to say the least. That's my biggest frustration right now is to see a player like that go. At the end of the day, I'm hoping that if he does, it makes our team that much better, with whatever we do. But it's scary to think that it might not do anything for us.
Yeah. Jiggaman?
I'm gonna let you go, Heck. Let's get your take on that game and everything. I'm gonna come in after. I got some
Just put the
stuff to
pressure
do.
on me. Just put the pressure on me. Copy.
Right I didn't take my honey this morning. All right, so my voice is still not. It's just not ready for it. Take it away. Heck.
Copy. Keep drinking your ginger tea. But like Pudge Nice just said in the chat, right? Pudge Nice just said, because everybody wants to be king. Our team is selfish, and yeah, it has a bunch of selfish players on our team. The takeaways from the game, like Phil just said, Julius Randle had a Julius Randle night. These were the type of nights we expected from him during that year that we made the playoffs, right? Is it consistent? I'm not too sure. When it comes to Julius Randle, I'm happy that he has those types of performances, because you're just building up your trade value for the day we inevitably trade you away, right? So when it comes to Julius Randle, I wish you all the best. Hopefully it's on another team, but I'm on the boat of trade when it comes to Julius Randle. When it comes to Cameron Reddish, I'm a bit scratching my head, because I'm like, what is going on? Scouts around the industry like to say that Cameron Reddish is probably the most talented person on this roster. So to have your most talented player from your roster in trade talks to be traded away, it's a bit upsetting. And especially after this young man came to a team last year that the coach didn't want you on this team, and you fought and you did everything you can to appease this coach, right? To get into the rotation. You got a shot opening night. We went to overtime because of him. He got a shot in the starting rotation, got injured, went out of the rotation, and afterwards he's been MIA ever since. It's a bit upsetting. But from other parts of the game, I don't want to just hamper on just, sad moments, but from other parts of the game, Quentin Grimes was fantastic. Stephen Fox said it earlier. The way that Quentin Grimes was cutting and passing the ball was phenomenal. So having him in the starting rotation, I think is a great move. I wish we would give that type of leeway to Cam Reddish and with the bench unit at least. At least go out there with the bench unit when it comes to McBride, when it comes to IQ, when it comes to Toppin. If you're not going to be in the starting rotation, use that man for the bench rotation. Besides that, another bad game from RJ Barrett. The questions around RJ Barrett, is he the player for the future from the Knicks? Those are questions we're going to start having to have. I understand 4 years. I understand he's young, but at the same time, you keep doing the same mistakes game in and game out, turning over the ball. Bad shot selection, right? Yeah, you hit a couple of three-point shots, but at the same time, you drive and you force the ball to certain spots where you just don't have to force it. I've been a big fan of RJ Barrett, but we said it the first episode we started this Knicks Morning Brew. We got to take the kid gloves off. No more kid gloves, no more kiddie treatment when it comes to RJ Barrett. Besides that, Tom Thibodeau needs to get fired. Hopefully it happens soon, because right now, when it comes to Tibbs, no, I don't mean to make a funny joke, but when it comes to Tibbs, he's setting up these lineups to win. He's not setting up these lineups with the thought of development in the back of his head or anything like that. No, he's trying to save his job when it comes down to it. So he's setting up these lineups to try to win, and he's trying to get a few more wins while sacrificing development for this team and looking towards the future. He's not going to be a part of this organization in the future. So why sacrifice wins and for development right now, especially when you're under 500 or when you're at 500, I should say, not under 500. But yeah, go ahead, Jigga. Lay down the torch.
While we were watching that game, the only thing that came to my mind was, what is Knicks Twitter universe going to be like? I was looking forward to the end of that fourth quarter to be able to jump into somebody's spaces just to see what the fan base is talking about. I mean, look in the chat. Everybody said it. Foxy, right? 3 of 5 of their starters were out.
Yeah.
Hunter Collins, right? Let's be real. It feels like we've had to say that pretty much every win this season, right? We won and they had none of their team. We won and they played a high school basketball JV team. Whatever. We've been hearing it all season. I feel like every time someone complains about every single piece of what's going on this season, I want to come out like that scene in Gladiator and be like, are you not entertained? And here's why. Because you've got, how about for all the people like, oh, blow it up. That's it. Just blow this whole thing up, trade everybody away. Rumors come out about Cam being traded, this person being traded. Oh my God, they're trading the wrong person. Hold on a second. If you're on the blow it up train, then at least seeing people being traded, period, should make you happy, correct? So which one is it? Blow it up, but only if it's certain people, not players I like. If you're on the blow it up train, then you need to, for a second, for this season, you need to stop looking at the name behind the jersey and just look at the logo right here. If you're on the blow it up train, everybody's expendable. Let them go. Let them go. Let your emotions attach to that. They got to go. It sucks, bro. It sucks that Cam's on the trade, right? Mm-hmm. But you can see this, it sucks that IQ is going to be traded, right? I mean, how can you not say it for both of those guys? The biggest part of that whole statement is we're attaching one of these guys to a Fournier or something to get rid of their contract. That should be the biggest problem with the entire trade. We're losing a young asset. We're using something that we can work with. And at the end of the day, it sounds like we're not even going to lose it for something worth the damn just to get rid of somebody. Mm-hmm. How does that not frustrate the fan base more than the fact of him just being traded?
Yeah.
We'll jump into some of the trade scenarios. Go ahead, Phil.
I think the thing is, we can't say whether or not these trades are going to be beneficial or not. Mm-hmm. And that's where the point of contention and frustration come from, because there's no clarity of, hey, our organization's thinking of moving these guys because of this or because we're going to do that. And I think if we had an answer either way, whether they were saying, hey, we want an all-star now, or, hey, we think that there's going to be younger, new talent that comes in the draft that fits where we're going more, I think that would be helpful. The problem with our organization is that everything is always a question mark. Like, everything is always a question mark, and so it leaves the fans guessing and making our own conclusions of what's actually happening, and that's where it causes frustration and contention.
Yeah, but it's the same old routine, right? We never know what they're thinking. We never know. We always give them the fake rumors, and nothing ever comes to light. Nothing does. So for us to expect that we're going to all of a sudden maybe get a glimpse into what we're thinking is not going to happen. Mm-hmm. The other one I want to touch on, Hector, is you brought up the Obi situation. Mm-hmm. First of all, piss me off, okay? Because I get a shirt, a dope shirt that says, ain't no stopping Obi Toppin', and then all in a matter of a week, I found out that, yes, Tom Tibbs and something was stopped. Both of those things can stop him. But it's also sad that, you know what, he possibly could play just as many minutes as he is now during this next 2-3 weeks with his injury, because let's be real, you never know if he's going to get any playing time anyways. What I want to talk about, though, is the fact that Tibbs did say he's thinking of moving RJ to the 4. You're laughing. So I mean, we'll come back to your thoughts on it, Phil.
No. I can answer this real quick. It's laughable. It is laughable because you got to move RJ to the 4 when you're subbing out Julius Randle. I got a question. Isn't RJ starting alongside Julius Randle? Right? RJ starting alongside Julius Randle. So how is he going to substitute RJ as the backup power forward when him and Julius Randle? I'm confused. Help me out here, please.
So is Tom. Phil?
Yeah, I think it's a matter of Tom thinks that he gets this whole idea of, okay, this 9 is going to work. Starts to work. He's the kind of guy that, like, it took him forever to get to this point. You throw a wrench in the works, and it completely throws him off. He has no clue what to now do now that his 9-man rotation isn't working. Like, most people will go, okay, we got to get Cam off the bench, or we got to start bringing Sims in and move some pieces around where so-and-so is playing. But that doesn't happen.
Do you think we're in a situation right now where he knows, okay, there is no playing Cam? I mean, it feels like there's just no playing Cam. Like, that's obvious.
Yeah, there's no playing Cam because, Like
he knows it. Like,
what
that's
it
it.
seems
There's
like
a trade in
is
talk. Yeah.
Yeah, what it seems like is he's trying to preserve Cam so Cam doesn't get injured or aggravate that groin injury that happened earlier in the season, because then that eliminates any possibility of a trade. And with people already calling him, like, what it sounds like is the Lakers are straight up knocking, like, hey, we want this guy. And there's even rumors that they're willing to take Fournier because they need shooters. So if the Lakers are calling and they're interested in Fournier and Cam, and our office's main goal is to get rid of Fournier and attach somebody, that just kind of seems like a perfect option for them. So they don't want to screw up that possibility.
Yeah. And like Jonathan just pointed out, and shout out to Jonathan for this great point. He said, I don't know if the Knicks front office knows how to run a front office. Listen, Jonathan, I'm not sure if you used to play NBA Live back in the day, right? But if you played NBA Live back in the day and you was running a franchise and you did a bad job, you got fired. You got fired in a video game. This front office probably wouldn't even make it through one season in the video game.
It's so
they would have been fired.
It's so people must have been fired so much in the video games that they had to make it a setting. All right. They made a setting: computer firing, manager firing, coach firing. You're like, nope, computer only.
No, but when you look at these rumors, right? And we're upset that Cam Reddish is being put into these trade conversations, right? But when we traded for Cameron Reddish, the front office viewed him as an asset for the future. Right, that draft pick we traded was a draft pick that was going into the draft coming up. So this was an asset for the future to use for future trades. That's what the front office saw this young man. Us as fans thought this young man was going to come in and be a part of this rotation. That's what we thought. Honestly, I know that's what I thought. Right, thinking that Cam Reddish and RJ Barrett will be cornerstones for the future. That's what I thought when we made this trade. But boo-hoo the fool. I got fooled by the front office, right? The wool got pulled over my eyes, and this front office is about to trade Cam Reddish. Granted, we're trading Cam Reddish because the front office signed a horrible contract when it comes to Evan Fournier. So they're trading a young asset who shows great promise to cover up a mistake that they made. Let this sink in. This is a contract, Evan Fournier, that they gave out, that they signed. This was this front office. And when it comes to these draft picks, and we'll talk about different trade scenarios, but when it comes to 11 draft picks over the next 7 years or whatever, I understand that that's beautiful. That's awesome.
It's great.
If this front office don't make moves to improve this team, Leon Rose is not even going to be here to even draft those players or use those draft picks. When you look at this offseason from a year ago, when we signed Kemba Walker, when we signed Evan Fournier, both those players, Kemba Walker's gone and Evan Fournier is about to be gone. We traded draft picks to get off Kemba Walker's horrible contract because that was another mistake by this front office. Now we're about to trade a young asset in Cam Reddish to get off of another horrible contract that they signed out, that they made. This is all indicative on the front office. All of this is just pure negligence from the front office.
And the thing is, it's at a
Thanks
point
for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah, first of all, hold on, golf clap, bravo, sprinkled it on him. You just had to drop it on him real quick. But you're right, though, bro. But it's at the point now where they can't hide behind the mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Like at all, right? Like, I mean, come on. We've been going through this for how many years now, right? Just like torture. But we've said it before, right? That playoff season, which we thought like kind of elevate everything, rush the process, made everything change. It's now you're in a position where it's like you are going to be judged on every single move you make and the ones you don't make, period.
Shout out to Chris Joe. I'm sorry. Shout out to Chris Joseph. I throw it right back to you. He said, I'm late, but I'm here. Let me guess. We still want to fire Tibbs? Chris, what it do, bro? Good morning. Go ahead, Jiggaman.
No, I mean, even Jonathan said it. It's been mostly bad moves since the Ewing trade. Like, it really feels that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah, it's just negligence from the front office. It's a carousel of mediocrity. It's just mid. We are just mid. If we were a Digimon or a Pokemon, we would be Midimon. Go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, man. Like, here's the thing is, like, I don't ever want to be the, like, person that looks so much at the negative that I don't look at the positive. You know, like I feel like there's got to be a take. You know, we are seeing Grimes flourish in these last few games. That's an upside. You know, like if in 2 or 3 years that's our number 2 or number 3, and we have a number 1. That's a promising roster. You know, if he can make this his consistent, like if we have a consistent player who is shooting 71, like, or 72 pure field goal percentage, like as our 2 or 3 moving forward, I'll be happy with something like that. Also, Miles McBride is getting minutes and he is looking good on the defensive end, like very, very good. And so I feel like we also have to be careful because we chanted for so long, play the young guys. Well, now the youngest guy on our roster is getting 13 minutes, you know, like, okay, he's seeing minutes. He went from G League only to 13 minutes, you know, so that's a good thing. Yeah, that pisses me off. Well, I don't even want to talk about that one yet. But that's the thing is like, so there are good things that are happening. Like there are good things that we are starting to see. And so I'm hopeful for the little nuggets that we have. I still think we need to fire Tibbs. We still need to move Randall. But I feel like these guys are at least starting to play well. And I do think it's a matter of trying to win, but also there is development that's happening. Like you're seeing Grime develop. Like I'm not saying that's thankful to the coach, but thankful for actually being on the minutes, on the court for those minutes and being able to shake off the rust that he had from that injury. So I feel like it's still something to celebrate. You know, I'm not going to be on the, let's keep Randall. He played well. No, like I still want him gone. Still think he's going to flourish somewhere else in his role. But we have to look at the good things and say, if this season is solely to show us that for the next 5 years, Grimes is going to develop into this great player, and we can't fully rely on RJ ever stepping up to a number 1, at least we're learning something. Like instead of going into every season with no victories, like, we just sucked, you know, like there's still good things that we've seen and we can be hopeful about.
I'm going to say this, Hector, and then I'm going to throw it to you.
Okay, cool. I want to interject.
Do you see the difference in Phil today? Phil coming in with that little bit of positivity, right? He had time with his son this morning and Santa Claus. He in that Christmas spirit. Okay,
you know what it was? He stopped at Starbucks and got a triple macchiato with soy milk.
Oh yeah, he came up to this show today like it's the most wonderful sound.
Yeah. No, you definitely went to Starbucks. I see it in your eyes, my guy. I see it in your eyes. You paid for an overpriced coffee. I would be
angry if I was drinking Starbucks. That's the prima donna coffee guy in me. I'd be mad if I had Starbucks.
No, but I just wanted to just interject real quick on what Phil just brought up when it comes to Quentin Grimes. I'm trying to find the nice words to say this, but it's about time that Quentin Grimes has showed up, right? Because this was one of the main pieces that this coach did not want to trade away for Donovan Mitchell, right? So it's about time that Quentin Grimes showed up. I'm not happy that Quentin Grimes is out there performing, getting 15, 20 minutes a game. Yes, it's all good, well, and dandy, but this is a kid that we haven't seen all season, and this is a kid that was supposed to be the piece that we sent for Donovan Mitchell, and we didn't because the head coach wanted to keep him. So I'm happy that the head coach is playing him. I'm happy that the head coach has him in the starting rotation. But at the same time, he better have him in the starting rotation. He better have him performing because this is the reason why we don't have Donovan Mitchell, because we didn't want to give up Quentin Grimes. So you know what? He better be out there balling out, and he needs to ball out every game for the rest of this year.
Gosh, you guys are switching roles today. Hector coming in with a little bit of sass. Phil coming in all cheery.
I couldn't find me a bacon, egg, and cheese this morning, so I'm a bit upset. I couldn't get me a bacon, egg, and cheese.
That's the thing is, he was injured for part of the season, and then he got thrown back in. That's the problem. Like, look at it when he's healthy, what he's doing. He's still been the best, even when he was averaging like 3 points for those first like 5 games or whatever. He was still the best defender that we had on our team. Still,
stop pulling your sister's hair. I'm over it. Get me out of here.
Let's see, Savage NYC. I'm waiting for Uncle Freezie right now. I messaged him. I think he's having a little bit of issues on his end, so we're just waiting for Uncle Freezie to show up. But yeah, Uncle Freezie, if you're out there, Uncle Freezie, where are you at? Help us navigate this conversation, Freezie.
So, before we jump to the next topic, shout out to everybody in the chat. On that note, Savage NYC was good. New York Originals, Savage? Pudgy nice.
Savage was one of the first people I interacted with when it comes to this Knicks universe. When I was with For the Love of the Game, the original one that we first started, Savage was there, always in the chat. So shout out to my man Savage for finding us. Appreciate you,
Eric
my guy.
Wallace in the chat, appreciate you, homie. Chris Joseph. Everybody's in the Jonathan. If I missed anybody, Sir Foxy, everybody.
Pudge Nice is another one from the Blorange Tears family. Salute to my guy, Pudge Nice.
Yes, sir. All right, I want to go back to other topic you started off with in the beginning of the show, Julius Randle. But you know what? I'm not gonna give you my usual. Let's trade Randle. I'm not going to give you my usual.
See, Phil left. Didn't even want to have the conversation.
He said, "Oh, I don't want." He said, "Negative time. Take me off screen." Actually, I want to talk about the fact that did y'all see Julius Randle the other night? That man, you know, he popped a couple shrooms, a little bit of ecstasy. He went out there to play the Hogs. I'm sorry. When was the last time? I mean, he was grabbing kids, rubbing the heads. I saw him signing babies and stuff. It was Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde that we get from Julius Randle.
Mm-hmm.
So what now, right? It's two games that we get the normal Randle back. Good thing maybe is three.
Maybe three.
The thing is, even tonight, if he decides to play the other Randle version, the Charlotte Hornets have nobody playing on their team. They even called me, asked me if I was free tonight to play. I was like, well, I can't go against the Knicks. I mean, I love them. They're like, we understand. I was like, okay. Bro, he is the most frustrating person on this team.
Mm-hmm.
The man is such a talent when it comes to playing ball.
Yeah, so talented.
If he was that guy that was sitting there playing, smiling, helping these guys out, but I feel like this is the same conversation over and over again. We'll never get anything else from Julius. But got to give him his flowers where flowers are due. He killed it the other night. And you saw the rest of the team. I mean, look, did you see McBride and IQ, all of them, right? Smiling with him and him joking and laughing. That's chemistry. That's we need a person like that to come into this locker room. Someone that is a star, not just because they're an amazing athlete, but can lead a team and be that core that has that chemistry. Man, that is the thing that you'd think would make me happy to see Randle play that way. It pisses me off. Because, man, if that boy was like that all the time, that is a piece you keep on this team forever.
Oh, yeah. If what we got out of Julius Randle the last game against the Hawks, if that was something we could count on him to put out consistently, I would want to keep him. But the fact is, like you said, it's this Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You know, sometimes he's here, sometimes he's not. And, you know, on the moments that he's hot and he's thriving, it's a great feeling. It's good seeing that on the court. It's good seeing Julius smile. It's good seeing the other players smile. But when it's not working and he's not knocking down those shots, it's very depressing to see the product that's on the court.
Mm-hmm.
Ride the wave while it's high. Ride it while it's high when it comes to his stats. Yeah, he's averaging. Hold on one second, because I brought it up here. Hold on, I got a little side note that I wrote down. But yeah, it's okay that Julius Randle, you know, he's averaging 20 and 10. That's awesome. That's beautiful. But at the same time, our record with Julius Randle as a Knick is 111 to 134. The record with Tom Thibodeau is 90-89, one game over 500. If it wasn't for that Hawks game that we just won, it would have been 89-89. But our record with Tom Thibodeau as our head coach is 90-89.
Yeah.
Let that sink in. With Julius Randle on this team, our record is 111-134. And before anybody brings up RJ Barrett, it's basically almost the same. It's basically the same record. All right. So don't bring up what it is with RJ Barrett. It's the same record. But we're talking about Julius Randle right now.
Yeah. Well, here's one thing that I saw about an hour ago from NBA Trade Reports account. They said that Phoenix is having internal discussions on the possibility of trading for Julius Randle. Nothing is imminent, but the Suns are looking to upgrade their roster immensely and are interested in Randle.
All right, sign me up.
Like, all right, what do we do? Like, where do we sign? Like, how do we make that happen? And people are like, oh, well, what are you going to feel like when that team becomes
Oh,
Phil, you good?
Phil with that frozen. Frozen.
Am I back?
Yeah, you back.
Okay. Some people are like, what are you going to say when you guys lose a certain amount of games because you traded Randle? And I'm like, I expect to lose certain games once we trade Randle. But that frees us up to find direction for where we're going. And I'm okay with taking those L's as long as that means in the future, like we can make it happen, to have a better roster and a better team moving forward that actually is cohesive. So I'll take those L's to eventually turn it into a dub.
Yeah, same, 100%. I feel the same way.
Talking on that, what you were talking about, Phil, it looks like another article here from Bleacher Report. Speculation is, if it were, the trade scenario would be New York Knicks receive Jay Crowder and what's his face? Dario
Dario
Suns receive Julius Randle.
I'll do it.
Bye.
Yeah, I'll do it. And I'm sorry, when it comes to a talent level, Julius Randle is more talented than both those players. But that's not what we're looking for. We're looking to get off his contract and to move forward for the future. If we could get a first round pick or a second round pick attached to it, I'll take it. But I've seen another article from Bleacher Report talking about different trades with the Knicks, and they brought up a trade for Zach LaVine. Right? Oh. So let me know if you guys would do this trade when it comes to Zach LaVine. So the Knicks would get Zach LaVine, and the Chicago Bulls would get Evan Fournier, Derrick Rose, Cam Reddish, and 3 first-round picks, one of them being unprotected from the Knicks. Would you make that move for Zach LaVine?
I personally wouldn't. And Zach LaVine has been a player that I have loved and had dreamed of seeing him in orange and blue for years. But the thing is he's been injured time and time again.
Can't trust those knees, man.
Like, you can't trust him to be healthy.
Jonathan and Pudge both are saying no. Jonathan with the caps. Yeah. He put the cap locks on it.
You're not getting the same LaVine anymore. And with those knees and everything, it's not worth
Phil.
it.
Yeah.
You're not getting the same LaVine. You're getting an injury-prone player. And the big thing, okay, fine with the players, but when you start talking about our picks, that's when that's when I have to say no, especially unprotected picks, for something like that. No, if we're saying that we're building for the future, don't we want those assets? Don't we want the potential to either recruit well in the draft, move up in the draft, or find an all-star that's going to be with us for the next 6-7 years instead of an all-star we can probably rely on for the next 2 or 3? No, as much as I like Zach, that's a no-go for me, bro.
Yeah, that's a no for me also. If this was a scenario that with just one NBA season is going to be played and we just need Zach LaVine for one season and we don't worry about the future, then we make the trade. If this is NBA 2K and it's a fantasy draft, I'm drafting him all the way. But looking for the future, knowing the direction of this team is nowhere close to being a contending for a championship, I'm not trading away draft picks. The players, Evan Fournier, Derrick Rose, Cam Reddish. If we got to trade those players, we trade those players. As much as I don't want to trade Cam Reddish, if that's a way to get off of Fournier's contract with D Rose contract as well, so we could clear some of the cap space, then that's a move that we have to make. But getting Zach LaVine, like Foxy pointed out, and I throw it over to you, Jiggaman, right after. He said, never mortgage your future for a player who had a catastrophic knee injury. And I 100% agree. Yep. Zach LaVine, he's a fine NBA player, but I'm not mortgaging the future for a guy that's attached to big money, one, and has a catastrophic knee injury in his past.
Facts. Yep. I also wanted to look at this one here because I saw that Pudgy asked Foxy, what would you want in return for Cam? So before we look at Foxy's answer, I'll throw it to you guys. I mean, real world situation, what do you see us possibly getting, or what would you want to see us get in return for Cam? I mean, and obviously let's point out we were never on the trade Cam train, but looking at the writing on the wall and him not playing and it's going to happen, what would you ideally want to see in return, guys?
Me, I'm gonna make it easy. A first round pick. A first round pick coming back, or us getting off of one of these arbitrage contracts when it comes to Julius Randle or when it comes to Evan Fournier and Derrick Rose. One of those contracts have to go.
Phil?
Go ahead, Phil.
I'm going to say the same thing. If this is a player that, we have potential with, that we all have seen, play well and do well, I don't want to settle for anything less. Why would we trade for a player that has less of a ceiling than Cam Reddish does? So I want to see that first round pick and a good first round pick. Or like you said, if he's going to attach to this Fournier contract and we can get a player that, here's the thing. I would rather have a player that is an all-star player underneath, like star level player that we know is going to be healthy and have longevity and can fit into what we're doing, than trading for the actual slightly above guaranteed star who we can't count on, like Zach LaVine. Because I want something that we can bank on, that we're not next year going, okay, we got that person's contract last year. How do we move him this year? Like, let's stop this 1 year, 2 year, gotta move him contracts. Like, we need to think of the actual future on a player that we're going to be able to say, okay, we at least are going to be happy with the next 5 of this guy, Yeah. So
Chris Joseph writes, adding LaVine with this team doesn't move the needle. He's probably worth the value of Rose, Fournier, and Reddish, but with Tibbs and Randle, we get the same result anyway.
Yep.
Facts.
Yep. And someone else brought up, Foxy was talking with Pudge Nice about the injury. Hold on. Foxy had put something in the
6
chat.
to 8 weeks.
Yeah, so Pudge was asking Foxy about the injury, and Foxy put, hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, Jonathan. I'm sorry, Jonathan.
3 weeks after imaging revealed a non-displaced fracture in his right fibula. Yep.
And then Foxy responded. He said he talked to a podiatrist.
Orthopedist friend, and he said expected to be more like 6 to 8 weeks.
Gosh.
Yeah, the ortho. You never want to hear that from the ortho specialist.
Yo, I haven't made a sign since like I was a kid, and I went to like a WWF when it was WWF, right? And you make your own sign. I'm gonna make one for tonight. I think I'm gonna do it. Yeah, it's gonna start off with the first one being free Sims, then we'll get free Phil. Fire Tibbs.
Was it this is week what? This is a week 2 on Phil being kicked off of Twitter
for real
because of this Fire Tibbs thing.
It's sad, Phil. I don't know. Hey, I already told Elon. I was like, yo, listen, it's not hate speech to Fire Tibbs. All right. It's more like a Christmas request. Okay. Sit on Santa's lap. What do you want for Christmas?
Question for you guys, keeping it in Chicago. Okay.
I'm still I'm still dying laughingly internally because you got blocked on Twitter. I mean, you got suspended on Twitter. I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh like that, Phil, but it's kind of funny.
Bro, and here's the thing. I wasn't on Twitter for like 3 years. I got back on Twitter because you guys were like, yo, like Twitter's where, you know, we do most of our stuff. And I was like, man, you know, like being a photographer, I'm so much on Instagram with social media for my job. And you guys were like, yo, it's important. I joined freaking Twitter just to talk about the Knicks, and I get thrown off within like 5 weeks. Like, it's not even fair.
Yeah, and the best part was Phil's killing it on these Twitter spaces, and then
yeah.
You know what? Here's my theory. You know what? Let's go conspiracy with it. Welcome to this part of the show. Here's what happened, Phil. You started showing up in all these spaces, and you were starting to get noticed by the Knicks fan base, bro. And there's some haters out there. They were like, report, block this dude. Block him. He's making too much sense. We can't have that issue.
You know, James Dolan, he's close friends with Zach Pasevic, and Zach Pasevic was the one who negotiated the Twitter deal with Elon Musk. So we can never know. Don't shut us down for, talking the truth.
Chris, Twitter thought it was too believable that Phil would try to literally send tips on.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, calm down, guys.
That's
Do you see this guy's beard? All right, he's a maniac.
Oh man, it's like that movie Celtic Pride when they tried to kidnap the Utah Jazz player when the Celtics was in the finals. That's exactly what it is, but with Tibbs. It's called the Knicks Pride.
Hey, I wanted to talk about you mentioned Jalen didn't have a very good game versus the Hawks, and he didn't. But I want to tell you guys, I forgave him as of last night. I was going to hold on to it for a little longer, but he took time to hang out with a little fan, let their puppies play together. That little girl had such a good time. I forgive you, Jalen. I forgive you. You're not back on my Man Crush Mondays yet, but I forgive you. That was nice. You play with the little dog there. You didn't see it? Just me?
Anyway, speaking of dog, we're getting a dog, and we're getting a dog. We're surprising Jonah. We're surprising Jonah for his birthday, and him and Miles. Miles is my 2-year-old. They were playing basketball on the rooftop. Okay, and Jonah and Miles watched the games with me. So Jonah was like, "I'm RJ Barrett," and Miles was like, "I'm Milesy," and he's like, "No, you're Brunson." So Miles has been walking around the house going, "I'm Brunson." Like, so we are actually naming our dog Brunson when we get him in 2 weeks.
Yes.
So we're gonna have a little puppy named Brunson going around.
Chris, do not feed this man. Do not feed this man's ego when it comes to these doggy things. Do not feed it. Do not feed it. Right. And Foxy is saying Miles is a great name because his little puppy's name is Miles.
All right. So before we went on my Twitter rant, I was gonna ask y'all. There's rumors, Chicago-wise, also that we go for DeMar DeRozan if they blow it up. Which last year we had that opportunity. We didn't go for it. Not last year, 2 years ago. We didn't go for it. We signed Fournier instead, and we saw how much of a dumpster fire that was comparatively, since DeMar DeRozan had the greatest year of his career when he went to Chicago. So what would your guys' thoughts be on a DeRozan trade that was similar?
No. Point blank period. No. It's the same thing. I'm not, it has nothing to do with DeRozan when it comes to like injuries or anything like that. It's just he's a veteran guy, right, who's trying to win a chip, and that's not going to happen with the Knicks. So I'm not trying to mortgage my future for a veteran player who's not going to win a championship, who then we're going to be trying to trade in the next 2 years as well. So let him go to a contender. If he wants to go to someplace else, let him go someplace else and let him thrive. When it comes to us, our team, we are not in any position to contend for a championship. So I'm not wasting assets on a player that wants to contend for a championship. If this was 2 years ago and we was like that fringe playoff team, 4th seed that had Julius Randle going, yeah, I'm making a deal. I'm definitely making a deal. But this year, the way this team is set up, the roller coaster that this team is when it comes to Tibbs in the front office, I'm not trading assets away for a player that wants to compete for a championship and who's not going to compete for a championship on the Knicks.
If we were to move Randle, I'd pick up DeRozan. If we were to get rid of a Randle contract and free up a player that could take that spot, I would definitely do the DeRozan deal if there was another deal in the works for Randall to be gone, because I feel like DeMar and Brunson would play way better together, and I feel like RJ Barrett can learn a lot from DeMar DeRozan and the way DeMar plays. I feel like RJ could learn a lot from him. So if we could find that trade with with them for the Reddish, Fournier, Rose, and then if one of those teams really are willing to take Julius Randle, then I think that would be a bonus thing. Because yeah, like Foxy said, there's only 1 year left on his contract. So if we pick him up for that 1 year and he can play that role where RJ learns from him and Brunson thrives off of him, then we can reevaluate once the summer comes on what we do with him from that point on.
I'm right there with you, right? I'm not on the get him or don't get him train. I'm on the, if we got him and Randall's still on here, it's a waste. If we give up too much for him when he only has a year left and then he doesn't resign, a waste. I don't think anything changes, guys. I've said it a million times. If Randall's still here and Tibbs is here, then what's the point of us going to get a player like a DeRozan? Right? Why get me a veteran? It doesn't make sense because you're not going to see anything really change. Right? So I'd rather see us keep forcing Tibbs's hand in this front office to have to play guys to see what we have. But if you told me, yes, Randall's gone in that, and then we make that, then 100% I'm down for it. I still think Tibbs messes it up, even if we brought him over here. But if Randall, you know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know.
Like Pudge just said, like Pudge just said in the chat, I will make that deal over the Zach LaVine trade, right? I would definitely make that deal over the Zach LaVine trade. But at the same time, I don't think we're in a position to contend. Not even contend for the, for the
yeah. But like Pudgy said, this isn't for contending. They're doing it just to unload bad contracts. Exactly.
If we're just unloading,
that's why only having that 1 year left is worth it, because if
we're just doing it to unload a bad contract, then yeah, I don't want to trade a draft pick. I'm not trying to trade a Knicks unprotected. I'm not trying to trade draft picks just to unload a contract for a contract that expires the next year. I'm not trying to do that. Now, if we can unload them for some of those protected draft picks that we got, then yeah. That way, next year, if there's no improvement on this team, then next year before the trade deadline, we could trade him away and flip him for some assets, right? But right now, I don't want to trade him away for any of the Knicks unprotected first round picks. If it's these protected picks, these mid picks that are 18, 20, 15 maybe, then yeah, definitely I'll make that trade in a heartbeat. That way we could flip him next year to add assets to our war chest, right? But when it comes to trading away Knick draft picks just to get off of a contract and to have a guy who's essentially just a rental for 1.5 seasons, I'm not sure.
Chris Joseph, we are never going to improve from where we are with Randall and his mindset. He's delusional. If he was on the Lakers, he would probably think he should be the focal point over LeBron and AD. You think?
That's hilarious.
He thinks that already right now. He really thinks that
hilarious.
Right now.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I agree with Pudge Nice. The front office is trying to correct all their mistakes. They're literally trying to correct the Evan Fournier contract. They're literally trying to correct the D Rose contract. They traded away Kemba and Nerlens Noel prior to this season.
But the problem is, I'm afraid, Hector. I'm afraid that what they're doing, trying to fix their mistakes, is going to be leading to bigger mistakes.
Yes.
You don't have to hide anymore. We all see it. It's transparent. We all know the mistakes. I would be happier them coming out and being like, "Hey guys, we never say shh. We keep you guys in the dark." But hey, good news. We're finally here. We know it. We messed up, right? And then they sat back and been like, "Man, let's talk about it. What kind of dumpster fire did we do?"
Yes.
But go and make some moves that you think are going to be beneficial to unload contracts, and then make it that you put us in a bigger, worst case scenario. Man, that's my fear with this front office, man. They're going to do some stuff that's going to end it up to where we're all like, what the hell is going on?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it changing. Whether New York Original, whether it's DeRozan or Mitch on this team, is still going nowhere. One superstar is not going to make the difference.
Yeah. 100% agree. He said, "Yeah, the fans been on their head." Yeah, and rightfully so, Pudge, because we were sold. Right, this is what us fans were sold. We were sold on the dream and the promise that Leon Rose and Worldwide West can attract superstars and bring superstars here to this team. Each year, when it comes to Durant and Kyrie, granted, we missed out on that headache, but we swung out and we struck out and we missed on both those superstars. When it comes to Donovan Mitchell, we swung and we missed at Donovan Mitchell. Right now, it's the fringe level all-stars with Zach LaVine or with DeMar DeRozan that we're trying to go for. We were sold the idea that this front office will bring us superstars, will attract superstars, will have superstars wanting to come here. Each offseason, superstars are out there and no one's coming here. Kevin Durant and Kyrie ain't come here. Chris Paul didn't come here. Donovan Mitchell didn't come here. Nobody's coming here.
Yeah, and that's the sad thing. Like there's the big thing that this is where stars will come to die because we're willing to like get them. We're willing to pay when stars are, gone. But I also think like we don't do things tactfully, like here's the thing. Yes, I don't think if we get one star, we're all of a sudden, in contention for winning a chip, especially with the coach that we have. However, it is a star league. Whether you recruited that star or you traded for that star, you look at the drastic difference a star makes. Like the Cavaliers, when everyone's healthy and Mitch is actually playing to the best of his ability, bringing Donovan Mitchell made that team a full-on contender for this year. Like adding that star power set them above and beyond. We have good pieces, no direction, no star, and poor ideas of what stars to get. So I think it's unfortunate, and we really got to figure it out to hope that something happens, and I'm gonna say this, and people can crucify me all they want, but with Obi Toppin being gone, if we do make one of these trades and we have an open roster spot, I want to see Carmelo Anthony retire as a Knick. Shut up. Don't at me.
Oh, I definitely want Carmelo Anthony to retire as a Knick, and yeah, sign me up. I'll take a Carmelo Anthony retirement tour. I'll definitely take that. Jermaine Royster's in the building. Jermaine, what it do, my guy? Salute.
Yeah, I mean, let's look at some of these real quick. Since we're talking about the trade speculations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm at the point where I don't want to hear any more SGA talk, right? Like I don't want to hear any of the dream scenario talk. Like SGA. I'm tired of the unreal. Exactly. I'm tired of the unrealistic talk. You know what I mean? Which I still feel like that's every rumor we get anyways, which is completely unrealistic. But, I want to ask the chat too. Chat, like, ideal situation. Like, who is someone that you realistically think we would grab or we should be going after? Like, what's the perfect world for you guys? Because here's some of the ones that are coming out. We've got Miles Turner to the Big Apple. Proposed trade. New York Knicks received Josh Richardson, Terry Taylor, Miles Turner.
Well,
go ahead.
No. I was gonna say I like that because of the Josh Richardson component. The trade between the Knicks and Pacers and the Spurs. I saw that trade and I like that Josh Richardson, but at the same time, he's a good piece. Is it something that's going to move the needle that much? No, not necessarily, but it's a way to get off Mitchell Robinson's contract. It's a way to add a center that could stretch the floor. Maybe the offense will be better with Miles Turner, but how much would it be better? I would pick up the phone call, entertain it, and honestly, I will make the deal. Go ahead, bro. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you didn't cut me off. But here's what they're saying: Fournier, Quickly, Cam Reddish, Obi Toppin, Dallas first round pick, top 10 protected, and Detroit's 2024 second round, and then Spurs get Mitch Robinson.
That's not for Obi, not Obi and Quickly.
No.
Not the both of them. Not the both. If we're not getting any superstar in return.
Jermaine, you think they're gonna play Cam at the 4? No,
I
right?
hope, man. I hope, man.
What would we want? Yeah, but I'm telling you, I'm on the side of I really think it's clear they're not gonna let that boy play. Like they're holding him back.
Yeah, and like
Jermaine said, I think we should stick with what we got. Consolidation is key right now.
It all depends on what happens when it comes to this front office and to the coaching staff. There was a point, I think Chris Joseph made it. He said, I have said it forever that it is Dolan's fault we can't bring anyone in because we couldn't get free agents when we had Melo either outside of stat. I agree, Chris. I agree when it comes to James Dolan. And it kind of gets boring beating up on James Dolan, but you got to take the man for what he is, right? Check this out. Since he has taken over for this team, right, in these past 20 years, James Dolan is one of those guys one of those rich kids that he rather pay someone to be his friend than pay someone to tell him to keep it real, right? When it comes to James Dolan, right? James Dolan is the same man that when his friend Harvey Weinstein got in trouble for everything that happened with Harvey Weinstein, James Dolan, this is what he did. He decided to go on Fox News, right, and sing a song that he wrote that was called I Should Have Known about Harvey Weinstein. My man, what are you doing? It's stuff like that just makes him look like an embarrassment. And if you ask any superstars that are out there, would you want to attach yourself to an owner like James Dolan? No. I don't think there's any superstar out there that would want to attach themselves to a man like James Dolan. Granted, has he done some good stuff for his players when it comes to, the private jet for Tyson Chandler while his mother was going through it? That's the bare minimum you could do as an NBA owner. If you have an NBA player on your team and one of his family members are having a health crisis and is about to die, you better give that man your private jet so he could be next to his mother on her deathbed. That's the bare minimum. But when it comes to James Dolan, I don't know, man. He needs a reality check. He needs therapy. He needs someone to tell him, James, you're messing up right here. Stop hiring people who are just going to tell you what you want to hear and hire people who are going to keep it real with you and tell you where you're messing up at.
Yeah, bunch of yes men around you. It makes life really nice, right? Shoot, if I could turn my wife and kids to yes people, my life would, oh my gosh, could you imagine? A bunch of yeses and smiles all day. That'd be freaking crazy.
Chris Joseph, again, another one. He said, I have a friend that used to work at MSG, and the stories only get worse the further inside you are. I can only imagine how players feel having to do negotiations with that man. There you go, Chris.
Yeah, I don't know. We were talking about in that trade. So what's going on with Mitch? Is everybody on the okay? Let's get rid of Mitch because Mitch. I'm sorry.
I love
Mitch. Have you all seen Mitch? Let's just look at the last 2-3 games. Like, why are we? Why is everybody so quick to say, yeah, let's get rid of Mitch?
Got Halal in the building. Halal, what it do, baby? What it do, my guy? He said, good morning, all. Looking forward to Get Yank. Halal's over in the West Coast right now. Halal, he's doing his thing. Shout out to Backstage Baseball for passing 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Well-deserved, Halal. Well-deserved. Great work this entire offseason, this entire season while the Yankees were going on. And make sure you drop us a video for next week for Halal's takes, bro. The fans, they're asking for Halal's hot take. But go ahead, Jigga.
No, that's the future Yes Network right there. Like he literally is the future of
Yes he really Network. Is. He really is.
He might actually end up owning it. Pudgy said, I like Mitch. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not on the get rid of Mitch train. I don't think I will. I'm on the give me more Sims time. I think if you were, with him and Sims, I'm happy with our two big men. Phil,
here's the thing. I like Mitch a lot. What I want to see from Mitch is the same determination rebound wise defensively as offensively. He does great on the offensive rebounds, hasn't done great this season on the defensive rebounds. But I want to see him have that same attack mode when it comes to big centers that he's going against as opposed to smaller. Like when they're a little smaller than him, he's killing them, like point wise and everything like that in the paint. When they get a little bit bigger and they start bucking back up against him, he doesn't bully the way that his body type should be able to bully. Like he comes off a little soft at times. And with Hartenstein being as soft as like some Charmin toilet paper, we don't need two soft guards. Like we don't. Like I don't want like two soft toilet tissues, you know? So, So as much as I love Mitch, if it meant that we get a center who is as productive or close as
that's twice now. I'm telling you, the internet's look. They trying to block Phil everywhere.
That's what it is. They're
trying to block Phil everywhere. Phil's blocked from Twitter.
Am I back?
No, you back. You got Optimum, bro. Because James Dolan used to own Optimum, so it may be him trying to sabotage what you're saying.
So unless we got something that helped us get something in another piece that was closer to what we need for the future, like in another position, and someone that's at least close to what Mitch is doing productively for us, so be it, because I do feel like we need Hartenstein to move too, and Sims kind of be our backup center. So it just depends. But as much as I like Mitch, I'm not saying that he's untouchable. Like he's not an untouchable for me, that's for sure.
Yeah, I when it comes to Mitchell Robinson, I always liked Mitchell Robinson. Even going into that draft, I was praying for the Knicks to use a late round draft pick to get Mitchell Robinson. So when we drafted Mitchell Robinson, I was more excited for drafting Mitchell Robinson than drafting Kevin Knox. I'll tell you that right now. But when it on Freeze Phil, when it when it comes to Mitchell Robinson, I want to see him expand his offensive game. That's the only thing I ask. If this was 2005, 2006, when the Knicks had Nazir Muhammad on the team, yeah, Mitchell Robinson would be a better choice over Nazir Muhammad back in that era of the NBA. In this era of the NBA, when you have centers who could step back, shoot the three, spread the floor out a bit, it seems like Mitchell Robinson is limited, right? If Mitchell Robinson was next to a power forward that could get rebounds and box people out, I think Mitchell Robinson game will be on a different tier than what it is right now. But the fact that Mitchell Robinson has to put so much pressure on his shoulders when it comes to the defensive side of things, when it comes to rebounding, I think it takes too much out of him, right? And I agree with Savage in the chat when he said free Jericho Sims. We need a free Jericho Sims and give that young boy some time out there on the court, because unlike Mitchell Robinson, Jericho Sims can run up and down the court and you don't have to worry about him getting injured. When it comes to Mitchell Robinson, anytime that man jumps and it looks like he lands awkwardly, I'm scared he's going to be injured.
You're worried. Yeah.
I get very worried that he's going to be injured, but he's a solid defensive player. He's a solid rebounder. I just feel we need to get another defensive-minded power forward next to him so he can literally not have to worry about doing too much.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, and I agree with you, Phil, right? He needs to get more aggressive down there. And I think, hopefully we start to see more of that, But yeah, I'm still on the Mitch could be a big piece for us. Again, there's its pros and cons, right? You look at what Chris Joseph said. Mitch is such a solid defensive player to hold down our team, but his offense is limited to a fluid offense. We're not great half-court offense, and that really hurts his production. Exactly. And that's the thing, right? We're still now with, let's see what happens with trades, who's going where, who's getting fired, who's getting kept. Then maybe we'll find out what's the future plan for our system. What kind of offense are we going to run? Right? We say it every episode. I say it every episode. We leave every game with more questions than answers. And after the blowout we had the other day, you left with a bunch of questions again, and injuries, and Cam Reddish trades, and all kinds of crazy stuff. So I don't know. I'm still on the we keep Mitch train.
Yeah. What about these rumors? And I know people are split on this one. The Kyle Kuzma trade rumors.
I just keep blonde Kyle Kuzma in Washington. I don't want blonde Kyle Kuzma in the Garden. I'm good.
So that one was what? Will Barton, Kyle Kuzma. You're giving up Julius Randle, IQ, 2023 first round pick, and Detroit's
Is it a Knicks first round pick?
Washington's and Detroit's second. You get back Will Barton and Kyle Kuzma.
But we're giving up IQ
and Randall.
I don't know, man. I
don't know,
might
man.
do that.
You see, I feel like if the name Randall is included with anything, everybody's like, "Oh, I don't know."
But it's just giving up IQ.
My kidney, my right thumb, and Julius Randle. I mean, it might be worth it, guys. I mean, who really needs another
if there's
kidney?
no Quickly attached to it, I'm doing it in a heartbeat. But Quickly's attached to it. I don't want to lose Quickly. I don't want to lose Quickly right now, bro. Especially not for Quickly. I know we're losing Quickly, but I don't want him for blonde Kyle Kuzma. I'm good.
Bro, Kuzma's stats are 21 points per game, almost 8 rebounds, almost 4 assists, like at 46%. Like his stats are better. His stats are better.
That's cute. That's very cute.
And we get rid of Randall. Like, take my left arm. Take my left arm if we're getting rid of Randall. Like, I'll be one armed. Like, to not have Randall in a blue and orange.
I guess.
All right. You know what?
Bring me back Porzingis.
Send. How about this? Send them Cam Reddish instead of Emmanuel Quickly. Would you rather do that? Send them Cam Reddish instead of Quickly.
Yeah, because at least Quickly gets minutes on our team.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I'm with that. But guys, anything else before we wrap it up?
Yes. Next
December
Wednesday,
14th.
The 14th, our Julito episode. We're going to sample the new album before it comes out on the 15th or 16th. We're going to play the album here. Guys, if you haven't yet, go to our Twitter, Knicks Brew KOD. Retweet the tweet, tag a friend, get yourself entered to win yourself the Knicks hoodie and a shirt. Guys, the episode is going to be fire. We got so much more coming up. We got the Knicks versus the Hornets tonight. I'll be there live. I'll get some footage. Hopefully I leave there with a happy smile and a million more questions. Make sure you guys give us a like, a follow, check it out.
Yes.
Me, Jiggaman, Porto, follow Hector,
yes.
HQ. You can't follow Phil, but you can hashtag on Twitter, hashtag free
Phil. If you guys can, though, make sure you tune in later on today, 4 p.m., NYY News TV. Get Yanked is premiering on NYY News TV. Already got Pete Simonetti on Twitter promoting us and hitting us up. Can't wait for tonight. It's super excited. Appreciate everybody who showed up. Uncle Foxy, appreciate you. Pudge Nice, like always, my guy, appreciate you. Savage NYC, from the bottom of my heart, brother, I appreciate you as well. And everybody else who was in the chat. Eric Wallace as well. Backstage Baseball, who was in the chat. Jermaine Royster, who came through. My man Maine came through. And of course, gotta shout out the big homies. Gotta shout out KOD. You know, appreciate KOD for everything that has transpired over these past 8 months. Jiggaman, I love you, bro. Phil, I love you, my guy.
Love you,
bro. Peace. Let's go get a W tonight.
Like always, peace, love, and let's get this dub.